Welcome back. You're still watching the SABC's Prime News. Now, it seems that there's no turning back. A motion of no confidence is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. Our parliamentary reporter, Lukhanyo Calata, takes us through the consequences of the motion of no confidence. A very good evening to you, Lukhanyo. The chief whips met today and they came out seemingly quite resolved about how things are going to play out tomorrow.
Peter, good evening. Yes, indeed. I think all of them, for the very first time, we saw that all the opposition party chief whips were in essence all singing off the same hymn sheet. I think there's one issue that is outstanding, and that is the amendment that the ANC wants to bring to the motion by the EFF. But I think the chief whip of the ANC, Jackson Mthembu, did allude to the amendment earlier on, saying they won't change the substance of that motion. I think what they would like to change, or at least for the record to reflect, was that it was an amendment by the ANC that did not really deal with the actual substance of the motion of no confidence. But I think it makes it easier then for the ANC at least to be able to vote in support of the motion that was brought by the EFF. So yes, Peter, all of them were all in agreement, and I think if President Jacob Zuma does not resign either later this evening or early tomorrow morning, he will be fired by the National Assembly tomorrow afternoon.
All right, take us through the pieces of the puzzle. What happens tomorrow, the next day? Because I'm hearing that we could have a SONA by Friday night.
Well, Peter, that's what the ANC said. What will happen tomorrow afternoon is obviously the debate will be had and then they will vote. We doubt that there will be a division within the House because all of the parties are, as I said earlier, all on the same hymn sheet and they all want President Jacob Zuma gone. However, that then presents another opportunity or another problem, because a motion of no confidence in the president means that not just he resigns, but that his entire cabinet will have to vacate the office with him. But I think the ANC will then obviously almost immediately have an election of a new president. So the status quo won't really be affected by the motion that much. If a new president is then elected by tomorrow, say around 6 o'clock, round about this time, they will more than likely have a new president of the country, most probably Cyril Ramaphosa. He will then be sworn in on Friday morning, and then he will most likely announce his new cabinet, should he so choose, and then later on in the evening we will then have a State of the Nation address. It will obviously be a lot trimmed down. You know, I don't think we'll have the same amount of pomp and ceremony that we've become accustomed to over the last few years. Peter?
All right, so that's the timeline. That's what's going to happen. So it looks like we're even on course to have a budget speech next week. But I guess at this stage, we don't know who's going to deliver that, or is it the incumbent?
Peter, I think for, just to kind of keep things as they are, keep the status quo as it is, making sure that we don't rock the markets in any way. It could potentially be a continuation of Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba, just to deliver the budget speech. And then thereafter, the new president, Cyril Ramaphosa, or the incoming president more than likely, can then choose his cabinet to say, okay, cool, this is who I want. I want to bring Pravin back, or whatever he decides with the ANC. But I think they would want to be very cautious. I think the international world is looking at South Africa and the next few days are going to be very crucial. So decisions that are taken now could have severe impact on our economy. And I don't think that the ANC and its new president, Cyril Ramaphosa, will want to do much to unsettle the economy and the newfound confidence and hope that the international world has on South Africa at the moment. Peter?
Lukhanyo Calata, thank you very much indeed for joining us. That's our reporter there in Cape Town, who's been covering the issues at Parliament for us. And as he says, there's this timeline that's happening rapidly. A lot needs to happen in a short space of time, but we could have a State of the Nation address on Friday evening by new President Cyril Ramaphosa if everything goes according to the plan of the parties. Well, another big story today is 5 suspects